Hello everyone, Matt from Total MTG here, and today I've got my new Guilds of Ravnica video for you, and it's my top 5 common and uncommon cards from the set. Now on Thursday I will be doing the top 5 rares, so make sure you're here to see that. But first of all, let's start looking at my top 5 commons. So coming in at number 5 for me is Vicious Rumours. This is a 1-mana sorcery. Now, this is no Smallpox, but has Smallpox in Modern has those multiple effects when you cast it. This has a similar sort of, theme to it, if you will, but obviously not as strong. But what it does is 1 damage to each opponent. Each opponent discards a card, then puts the top card of their library into their graveyard, and you gain 1 life. Now, this is all for 1 single black mana. I think this is a really sweet card. Not sure if it will see a huge lot of play, but Vicious Rumour, for what you're getting for 1 mana, is a really cool card. Coming in at number 4 for me is Goblin Electromancer. The most expensive common in the set is Goblin Electromancer. It's a staple in Modern Storm, but how will it do in Standard? I think 2/2 for a red and a blue. Instant and sorcery spells costing 1 less to cast. It's going to be a very favourable card for some people who want to build Izzet builds, maybe Jeskai builds, Spells Matters kind of decks. Doing maybe it's a burn packet, maybe something. I do feel like Goblin Electromancer will see some play. As for 2 mana, making those spells cheaper, and there is some expensive spells coming in this set. I think making that 1 less to cast, you could see this certainly seeing some play. Coming in at number 3 for me, yes, it's back, it's Disdainful Stroke. I absolutely love this card, not only because it's blue, of course, but counter target spell with coveted mana cost 4 or greater. Now, this is gonna, without even thinking about what's coming in Guilds of Ravnica, this hits well over 400 spells currently in Standard. It's gonna be really good. Now, I know Negate will obviously counter those spells, the Planeswalkers and everything like that, but this will help against the Khans and Teferis as well, where you might not run so many, negates in your main board. Disdainful Stroke will counter any spell 4 or greater. So you're going to hit some really sweet stuff when your opponent's trying to get some bombs down, even just a Ravenous Chupacabra. Disdainful Stroke for 2 mana instant speed counter spell. Absolutely love it, and it comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Notion Rain. 1 black and a blue sorcery. It has the mechanic of Surveil 2, then you draw 2 cards. Notion Rain deals 2 damage to you. So Surveil 2 is look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest on top of your library in any order. So the good thing about this card, obviously, that you get to Surveil 2 first, and then you get to draw the 2 cards. It does deal 2 damage to you, but we've had cards like Signing Blood before, stuff like that. It's been, really good. So Notion Rain is going to be definitely played, I think, in the blue-black, maybe Dimir Control, anything like that. Some kind of control deck, so just, you want an extra card draw. We're losing cards like Glimmer of Genius, so this will be a card that will make the decks, and for sure, this will see play. Coming in at number 1 for me is Radical Idea. It's going to be our standard version of Think Twice that sees play in Modern. You get to draw a card for instant speed of 1 and a blue. Now, I know obviously Opt can do that as well, and Opt for 1 mana is really good. But I like this because it has Jumpstart, where you can cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its costs. You might be able to discard something that you can get back, feed your graveyard where you might need to do with, depending on what type of deck you have. Maybe you've got an Undergrowth deck or something like that. But Radical Idea, drawing a card at instant speed at the end of your opponent's turn is really good, and then jump starting it and doing it again, absolutely epic. Radical Idea for me is my number 1 common. I do have an honourable mention in the common section, which is Siege Worm. If you draw this in your pre-releases, it's such a good card. It's been reprinted many times. 5/5 with Convoke. It does cost 7 mana, but obviously with Convoke, if you've got creatures on the battlefield, you'll be able to cast this a lot earlier, and you get a 5/5 trample. That is absolutely epic, and will certainly win you games in your pre-releases. So Siege Worm gets an honourable mention. So before we head on to the uncommons, I'd love for you to put your top 5 common and uncommon cards in the chat. I'll always meet you there for a discussion. Do some of yours agree with mine? Do you disagree? I'd love to know. They're all subjective, and obviously these are just my personal choices. So let's get on to my top 5 uncommons with an honourable mention at the end as well. But coming in at number 5 is Rampaging Monument. I like this card. It costs 4 mana, it's got trample, it enters with 3 1/1 counters on it. Whenever you cast a multicolour spell, you get to put a 1/1 counter on the Rampaging Monument. this could really get out of hand. The trample's going to be very good on it, and you know, casting, there's going to be a lot of multicolored decks that this could fit into, because just look at, we're getting Shock Clans back. Just look at the casting cost of some of the cards: double green and double white, double blue, double black. There's going to be lots of multicolored cards that we will be playing, and Rampaging Monument could be very good, get very big, and certainly win you games. Coming in at number 4 for me is Chemist's Insight. Glimmer's gone, so we've got Chemist's Insight. 4 mana instant speed where you draw 2 cards. Now we don't get to scry like we did before, but what we do get is Jumpstart. So we can cast this card from our graveyard by discarding the card, then paying its additional costs. So we get to draw 4 cards potentially. Yes, we do have to pay the mana for it, but this is very nice. You feel like people are going to be attacking graveyards a lot, so sometimes you may not be able to cast this a second time. But Chemist's Insight, drawing 2 cards and jumpstarting it, I think that's pretty cool, and that comes in at number 4. So coming in at number 3 for me is Conclave Tribunal. So what does this take the place of? Possibly Cast Out. 3 and a white. It does have Convoke though, so potentially it can cost you 1 single white. You can obviously tap your creatures down to, to help with the casting of this. When it ends the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. Now, we lose Flash like we do on Cast Out for this, but we get Convoke. And I feel like having this in your hand where maybe you want to tap out and play something and then cast your Tribunal by tapping your creatures down, which you can potentially do, is still quite strong. So Conclave Tribunal is going to come in there. You'll see it played in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, and no, we don't have a blue card as the number 1, but a number 2 card in Sinister Sabotage. 1 double blue, counter target spell, and we get to surveil 1 with it as well. Oh, Disallow. I love Disallow, but that's just going, unfortunately, off to my modern decks as one of in my control decks. But Sinister Sabotage, I'm sure you'll be seeing me play a hell of a lot of these. Probably as 3-ofs and 4-ofs. Sinister Sabotage, it's a counter spell. It counters all spells, which is what's great about it. Instant speed, but it's a sweet card and comes in at number 2. So for my number 1 uncommon card. Now, what would be your number 1 uncommon card? Is it going to be the same as mine? Have you guessed what it is? It is Lava Coil. Lava Coil deals 4 damage to target creature, and if that creature would die this turn, you exile it instead. It's sorcery, but it's only costing 1 and a red. Now this will kill up to, I think I've counted, well, I didn't count them, I searched it, that'd be silly if I counted them all. 400 plus creatures this will kill. So Lava Coil for 2 mana will kill so many creatures in the format, it's untrue. So this is certainly going to see a lot of play. Lava Coil is my number 1 uncommon. You're going to see it probably, pretty much everywhere, as that's what I think anyway. Let me know what you think about it. But being able to kill so much in the format, it's got to be strong. Lava Coil is my number 1 uncommon. So my honourable mention before I round up this video is Crush Contraband. Choose one or both exile target artifact or exile target enchantment. Instant speed, 3 and a white, could have easily made the top 5 for me, easily. That's why it gets an honourable mention. You'll be putting this in your commander decks. I'm sure it's going to see standard play as well. Crush Contraband certainly gets an honourable mention for me, and I'm sure it would be in a lot of your top 5s. So that's my top 5 common and uncommon cards from Guilds of Ravnica. This set looks, whoa, it looks so exciting. I really can't wait to play it. Now, I was lucky enough from Wizards to get early access to their event so I'll be streaming on Twitch. Magic Arena, the Guilds of Ravnica set early this week. So make sure you follow me on Twitter for the notifications. It's on Wednesday and Thursday. I will be streaming it. Like a lot of others, we're getting early access thanks to Wizards of the Coast, who are giving me this special account. I really hope to all see you there. And if you're new to us on this channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really does help. We're less than 100 away from 5,000, so I'll be doing another great giveaway very soon. Anyway, join me Thursday for Thursday's video if you can't see me on Twitch later this week. Well, I'll be doing my top 5, could even be top 10. I'll probably mix the rares and the mythics together and possibly just do a top 10, possibly like that. I'll see how I feel. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you on the next video.